Welcome back to Last Play. We have successfully found how to get back onto the road. Okay, maybe not. Are you kidding me? No, look at that. Okay, now we've successfully found how to get on the road. I realize, though, my car is back there. And I have this return to car button.
You're the worst.
Let's start over. Welcome back to Last Play. We decided to hit the return to car button because...
How about we just head out in the morning?
Oh, we gotta sleep.
Sleep? Sleep is for the weak.
That means we're not gonna be at a campsite. Wait, where can I sleep? Oh, can we just wait until morning?
We can't put Iris in danger. Let's wait till it's light out.
Yeah, okay. Who needs sleep? Nice. We just stood around the car waiting for the sun to rise.
All right, move out.
And just like, yep, what's going on? Yep, that's still a car. Congratulations.
Here we go.
All right, Ignis.
Oh, she's so flirty. Do you see this?
Right? Like,
Oh
body
my
language experts,
God.
get on that.
If you're a body language expert, like, comment, and subscribe.
Right? Also, like, I just realized just how massive Gladiolus is when you, like, compare him to Noctis and Iris. Just, like, how much space he takes up in the back seat of that car.
Yeah.
Like, he is... Like, Iris is not in the middle of that seat.
No.
Oh, wow. That was a elbow to the shoulder. That is...
Oh, man. This is like junior high case study right here.
Mm-hmm. If you... Hint. If this is happening to you, you're probably being hit on. I say that as someone who will often miss cues like that.
Are you guys excited?
Where it's like,
to
huh,
visit
this
all
person
the
keeps
town? What?
keeps nudging me with their elbow.
So jealous.
Oh, Iris!
Vacation.
Now,
Oh, yeah.
technically speaking, that is the most safe someone's been when they've been doing weird shit on the car.
No, I'm fine. I'm not jealous. I just had a lot of fun.
That being
hanging
said,
out with you guys.
why is everyone
We're
in
all
this,
the
like,
past ones
entourage
playing Kyan.
completely incapable of just sitting in a car and watching
Yeah, I
it?
don't
Like,
know. They're just really bad at, like, car safety, basic car safety.
and no one ever has a seatbelt. I don't even think there's seatbelts in the car. Do you see any seatbelts?
Oh, I don't think there are seatbelts. Like, I don't see them.
I am writing an angry letter to the makers of this car. I can't even zoom the camera out to get who made this car. We are filing a safety complaint. What?
How come?
We are filing a safety complaint to Final Fantasy 15.
Wonder why
Okay.
no one ever thought of that before.
Because no one ever had little sister along for the ride.
Hilarious. Are we actually taking a break? Oh, well.
Wait, what? What did that say?
I was trying to see if I could park or control manually, but in this case, Ignis is driving for us. All right.
Tight squeeze.
We're driving for...
Craving your style.
I have a timer here. 2 minutes.
I'm just kidding.
And Gladiolus was like, we should pull over and give the driver a break. Iris mentioned that she was too big for the back seat. Oh, listen on this. You what, mate?
I mean, Accordo is Imperial territory.
What do you know? What do you know about Luna Freya? What do you know? I'm not Noctis, by the way. Hi, I'm Nyx,
Nyx.
the not prince. Gladiolus, what's not a prince? How do you introduce people when you're not a prince? Why is nobody talking to me?
You just reminded me when you're, like, running out. Like, what do you know? What do you know? I just, like, imagined, like, weird creepo guy trying to talk to me, and it's just, like, jogging in place right next to me. Just like, hey, what's up? What's up?
What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up?
Because you were just running at her character, like,
Yeah, you gotta keep the heart rate up.
for what purpose?
Because if you're like jogging and then you like stop jogging, then your like heart rate goes down and you're not getting as much exercise as you should be, or something.
I mean,
It's like a break to your exercise. I don't know.
sure, but you shouldn't, like,
Yeah.
constantly be exercising.
No, you should never not be exercising. That's why we have
That's-
several treadmills here that we're running on as we play.
No.
You can hear them in the background.
this beautiful
That probably sounded atrocious. I'm sorry, everyone.
I'm sure it did.
Oh. Alright. How long is it? Is that barely a mile? Alright, good. Everything in this game is surprisingly close by. As someone who has grown up in Canada, when it's like, oh, we're heading to the next town over, it's an hour and a half of driving.
Yeah.
This seems quite ridiculous that everything's so close to each other. But for reasons, I suppose, of both
Bridge up ahead.
video games and probably because it's made in Japan, where towns and cities are probably surprisingly close to each other.
Guess I'll see you
Yeah.
when we cross.
Yeah, like in Canada, at least in the province I live in, it's like basically there will be like clusters of cities and like little tinier cities or towns that are very near
We made it.
to that city. But then once you get out of that cluster, it's like, oh yeah, you're driving for like at least an hour
Yeah.
to get to another
anywhere.
town.
Also, you just stopped in the middle of the road. Why do you even try? Why
In
was
actually, in St. John's,
Why did you even
sorry,
ask me to
in
do this?
Newfoundland, it's like really fascinating because if you look at a map of Newfoundland, there's like, I hope you're gonna like have an image of this and just narrate this out for me.
well, I mean, you're narrating it, and I edited it. All right,
Like
more work
visually-
for me.
Visual narration.
All right,
You're
here's a
gonna
map
help
of
me out.
Newfoundland.
Okay, so you got Newfoundland,
You're the one
you got St. John's here.
Not that St. John's.
Gladdy, don't you
What do you mean?
That'll make sense later. Keep going.
So I went there for the first time when I was 12 because some of my family had just moved out there, and so we thought, well, this is our first time going there. We'd like to see more of Newfoundland. Just go on a little
Thanks
road
for the
trip.
lift, Ignis.
But here's the thing: all this middle chunk area here is rock. It's just rock. There's no road. It's rock. They call the island the Rock for a reason. So you actually have to go all the way around the edge on the bottom here, all the way down to the corner, and then up on this part here. And we went all the way around up to Gross Horn National Park. It's ridiculous. You can't shortcut across because there's no way to drive there. You just have to ride along the rim.
Yeah, take the long route.
It's a mess.
And that's just that makes sense because to a certain extent, it's not practical to try and build a road through that mountain because it's actually I'll see if I can find some pictures of what that rock looks like because it's just a mess. You could almost take mountain climbing gear and just kind of walk over it.
Maybe, I don't know. I've never
Maybe
tried.
that'll be faster than driving. I don't know.
I've never tried.
Right?
But it was beautiful. We saw some cool stuff taking that route. Like,
Yeah.
no regrets, but like,
What say we
still, it's kind of ridiculous.
hmm Like the Canadian Maritimes are essentially picturesque.
Yeah, they really are.
Shit, it's Cindy.
Newfoundland is beautiful.
Aw, we part with Iris's company.
know your stuff?
Darn.
Thanks for the ride. It was fun.
Later.
Wait, so Iris were just like ditching?
Tinkering away.
No, we're taking her to here.
Trouble at sea.
I'm not.
Oh.
I don't
Seen her
remember
share by the
why.
looks of her. Some parts we can fix, others need replacing.
So, we're just gonna. I assume
Don't
something's
worry,
about to happen.
Mama ain't going nowhere till the job's
Mm-hmm.
done. Parts won't fetch themselves, though. Was kind of hoping y'all wouldn't mind helping out with that.
Man, I just bought a whole bunch of potions. Ignis.
It's just like, ugh. Why'd you say that? We didn't talk about this.
That being said, I'm pretty sure Ignis has a much better grasp on finances than anyone else.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, we can afford that. I know from my experience how much general repairs cost.
Yeah.
And I budgeted for it in my well-documented travel log of potential expenses while we're on the run from the Imperial attack, which I created 5 years ago and have been updating for inflation every quarter, just to make sure that we had everything we need in the event of an attack on the capital.
Nerd.
It's my greatest hobby. I do it over breakfast. It's very entertaining.
Sounds like Ignis.
When I'm not trying to cook that weird dessert that the prince tasted once. Oh yeah, did you see that episode? In the anime, Ignis's character arc is that... Well, it's not really a character arc, it's just a short little story that is told. At one time in his childhood, Noctis had like this delicious dessert that he doesn't remember the name of and like only vaguely remembers what it's like. And Ignis has been trying to recreate it for years.
Aww.
Every time trying to like iterate it, like, what if we use this instead of that? And Noctis is like, it's good, but it's not the same. And he's like, darn, keep trying. And it's oh, do I have to just speak to Cindy like this?
Tell the truth,
Oh, there we go.
got a couple hands on deck. Dustin and Monica.
I don't know who they
Those
are,
two have been real swell. Managed to gather just about everything we need.
You
except
can depend on the Crown's Guard.
Trouble
Okay.
is, they ain't had
Why
much
are we-
luck finding a certain something
why are we
by the
just
name
stopped
of
here?
Mithril.
okay.
Mithril.
Apparently the stuff's
Yep.
hard to come by around these parts. At least according to the little fella.
Gotta have your requisite number of fantasy minerals. Gotta have your mithril, gotta have your orhalcum, adamantine, and then if you're really fancy, you get your unobtainiums or your non-existiums.
Now, if y'all excuse me, I'm gonna grab my tools and ski-daddle. Gotta
Where are your
Ski-daddle?
tools?
You say ski-daddle?
I mean, why? Yeah, I guess you could say
Skedaddle.
unless you're ski-daddling. Like if you take some like land
The
skis.
spelling
and
in the subtitles there was only one E, so...
I mean, E is pronounced like E Cosat in no context.
Did you just call me Cosette?
Yep. So, welcome back to...
Awkward play.
Oh, we're getting a boat. Nice.
There's some ruins near a lake. It said you
Alright. Find some mithril by a lake. Nice. Who else is in here? What? Knock knock. Oh, this is nice. Nice quaint little kitchen setup.
Yeah, it's cute.
Impressive amount of work went into designing this random little inn by the seashore. It's the reason why these video games take literally forever to make these days. Because back, like, especially in like the Final Fantasy VII eras, where all you had to do was like draw a simple backdrop for a general environment, and then have your character kind of like move in a way that seemed like they were moving through the environment, and then you like call it a day. Now it's just like, man, an art team had to work on building this ridiculous shack in the middle of nowhere for no reason. Oh, there's Iris.
About that lake. Pretty sure he was talking about the Vesper Pool. I asked Monica to look into it, and she told me the road leading there
of
wasn't
course.
prepared for anything. So, how's that coming along?
Alright, making me save. Every single time. Try to do stuff that like, you're gonna do a thing. Alright, let's do this.
You're gonna do a thing. Gotta save.
Okay. I'll be inside then.
Yep, secret meeting. Go away. Nice. We can get so many levels when we go to sleep. It'll be the greatest. So yeah, like, that's one of the big things and why graphics has become the most expensive part of video games, is because 3D modeling is really, really expensive. Because you have to, like... Oh, he wants to fly solo for a bit. Oh, really?
Ask
Go
how
for it.
long.
Nah, I trust him. Like, he is dedicated bodyguard.
Like we could stop you anyway.
Like, I feel like he wouldn't do this unless it was super important.
Well, see you around, guys.
You know?
Alright.
I feel like he wouldn't do this just to, like, take a vacation.
Well, no, but like... You know, it's good to know how long you should expect to not have him.
I suppose, but I don't believe Noctis would be quite so good at understanding why it's important to have those kind of timelines. I feel like he would just go
Be
with
like,
it. Wow.
okay, bye.
if her feet weren't clipping through the ground, this would be an amazing photo of the devastation after Ramu destroyed everything.
Rip.
Nice. Oh, yeah. Probably being like, y'all are morons. This is not how you get back onto the road. Wait, what's the point of this selfie prompt, though?
It's a selfie. It's self-love, man.
I know,
Don't
but it's
judge.
not like... I guess he doesn't have the dumbest look on his face, but... In the world before you could, like, sample selfies, I imagine you got a lot more, like...
Oh, really bad
full
ones.
film rolls of just, wow, this just looks terrible.
Yeah, when we use, like, disposable cameras and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm glad those are less popular now. They're a big waste.
Yeah. Well, I wonder if they were recycled afterwards, because usually you just gave the whole camera to, like, the London Drugs. Mm-hmm. So I imagine, like, they probably had, like, a recycling program where you would just, like, they would ship the shell of the camera back to the company, and they would just, like, refurbish the film in it and then resell it.
Mm-hmm. Maybe.
Because I can't imagine it that would not be the cheapest way to do that. Because if there's one thing we know about companies, it's all about making stuff done cheaply.
Yeah.
Capitalism. Make it for cheap, sell it for expensive. Call it a day.
Yay. Exploit, exploit, exploit.
Bend the rules.
Make your own rules. They can't be bent that way.
Or just make your own rules and then bend them anyways, because why not? Oh, doggo.
Doggo. Oh.
What up? I'm not sure how you know how to find her every time, because apparently she's been moving around. But, you know, I guess he's a carrier dog. Oh yeah, we're being nice to Luna. Just... Although I'm feeling regrets now, like, Iris and Noctis have something going on.
Yeah.
Just because
Well, not like explicitly though, hey? It's just that
Yeah.
Iris is being flirty.
Yeah, Iris very clearly likes Noctis, but there's a little bit of a class difference there. Mm-hmm. Well, with her being just basically...
A commoner.
Not only that, like, almost like... Because she's like the sister of his, like, father
Bodyguard?
figure, bodyguard.
Yeah, it's a bit of a... Not a conflict of interest, but...
Be wary, though.
I don't know.
It's like, I would say it's more just like awkward, like, family thing. Because they, like, in Noctis Mysterio is more of like a sister kind of thing. Oh, this place we tried to go that one time and they didn't let us. Nice. And so it might be just hard for that to be like...
What happened to under Imperial?
It might be hard for Noctis to, like, get his head on enough to be like, oh, maybe I should ask Iris if, like, that's a thing she's interested in.
Everyone's waiting for us?
That being said, he basically has already been, like, arranged to marry Princess Luna Freya.
Yeah, like, it's kind of
Despite-
predestined.
Despite the fact that he hasn't seen her in, like, 13 years.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I'm sure she's still fine and alive, and when they meet, neither of them will be dead. If there's one thing I know about stories, it's that the people will always have a happy ending. Mm-hmm. Always. Everything works out.
Especially in Final Fantasy.
No. Never.
I'm being sarcastic. Oh
Actually,
my god.
Let's go through it. Okay, so Final Fantasy 1. Okay, let's just skip forward to 6 because, well... 1, 2, and 3 don't really have enough of a visual story to really work out. Final Fantasy 4 kind of
What do you mean
works.
they don't have a visual story?
They really don't. Like, the story of Final Fantasy 1 is there's 4 unaspected people who just kind of go out and stop a time loop. And that's kind of cool, I suppose. Yeah, sure, let's take a picture. Final Fantasy 2 is there's a resistance against this weird empire that succeeds, I suppose. And that's about
Okay.
it. Final Fantasy 3 is, there's this thing that's happening, and it's really weird, and then they find out that there's some more weird stuff happening, and then they climb Crystal Tower and find, like, alternate universe versions of themselves. And
Okay.
decide to eliminate some weird darkness thing that was causing the world to be shitty. That's kind of it.
Okay.
And then we get to Final Fantasy 4 where you actually have, like, characters. Which is a good start.
Yeah.
Well, Final Fantasy 2 had, like, Furion and a bunch of other people that you don't care about. But that doesn't matter. Final Fantasy IV had like Kain and Cecil and Rosa, and that was interesting, and it kind of all works out in the end, except Kain dies and Golbez dies. They're Cecil's brothers.
Okay.
And so it's kind of sad that way. But, you know, Cecil and Rosa just finally get together, despite the fact that... Yeah, that's basically it. It's just a relatively happy ending, other than the fact that both of Cecil's brothers die.
Yeah, other than that.
Yeah, other than that. Final Fantasy V, man, I played that fairly recently. I don't remember much about it. Bart's
Should be a nice
weird
change of pace.
teleporting through meteor things. Just like Final Fantasy 3, it's just weird. And there's a lot of time loop, universe, alternate universe stuff, and then they just defeat a super ancient evil. So, no big deal. Then Final Fantasy 6, everything is fine, and then everything is completely not fine when Kefka basically destroys the entire world. And then everyone's like, wow, everyone's dead. And then they're like, you know
Wow,
what we should
things
do?
are terrible.
You know what we should do? We should kill Kefka. And Kefka's like, yeah, I agree. And that's Final Fantasy 6. And then Final Fantasy 7 is Cloud lied, Aerith dies. And Tifa and Cloud never talk about their feelings. It doesn't work. It eventually works out in, like, Dirge of Cerberus, which is 3 years after the events of Final Fantasy 7. And then Final Fantasy 8, that does have a happy ending. Squall is saved from the compression of all time into one moment by the power of love. Sort of. Kind of. It's a lot more complex. Yeah. Solid. Look at that. Little...
That's a cute little family photo. Look
Yeah.
at that.
Oh, love the lighting.
Nailed it. And then, alright, let's get back to the car. Then you have Final Fantasy 9, which is, even if you're, like, the last of your species, you still have friends and family who will, like, love you and take care of you. It's cool. And then... Wait, where are we going? Okay. And then, Zidane comes back from almost dying to, not... Everyone thought Zidane was dead, and then he turns out he wasn't dead. Surprise. I really should have put, like, a spoiler alert at the beginning of all this, because I'm just talking about, like, ending spoilers for all of the Final Fantasy. And then Final Fantasy X has the saddest ending ever.
I mean, is it really, like, spoiler alert worthy? Because how old are these games now?
Final Fantasy X was 2002.
Yeah, so 15 years ago?
Okay, I'll start...
I don't think they, frankly, deserve a spoiler alert warning.
He might be right. Final Fantasy X had the saddest ending because the main character Titus is actually this is so complex. The semi-gods of the universe basically took him from 1,000 years in the past and sent an image of him to try and stop this, like, constantly regenerating hyper demon god from destroying the world.
Okay.
Did I just crash the car? Because
Apparently.
I definitely hit.
Here, hold on, get out. I want to see if it's, like, damaged.
There's no parking spot coming. Oh, there we go.
Here we are.
Yeah, that's a good point. I definitely hit the side of that. I wasn't going very fast, so
Let's
it looks like it's
see, but it
relatively
looks like it's fine.
unscathed. Maybe that's a scratch. I don't know. Okay, that was
That
fun.
was weird.
First little accident.
Okay,
Anyways.
here's my opinion on spoilers and whether it's, like, dickish to give spoilers.
Mhm.
Okay, so for a game that's 15 years old, if you are playing the game and someone you know knows that and then spoils an ending for you, that's rude. That's not cool.
Yeah,
But you're not allowed to be mad if you're reading something or watching something and that spoils the ending for you. Because, like, you
Yeah.
had 15 years.
yeah. If you really did care, like, you would have seen it by now.
Yeah, so, like, that's kind of my theory. Personal people expressly
Yeah,
telling you, not cool. You stumbling upon something, you're not allowed to complain. What do we think is the mark of, like, you're not allowed to complain about accidentally getting spoilers?
well, that's hard because everyone experiences media content at different rates. Like, I am I'm now that I don't have much time to play video games anymore, like, I'm steadily falling behind on video games I want to play. that being said, you reach a point where like it's kind of impossible for you not to get some amount of spoilers at a certain point. Like, I still haven't started Persona 5, and that's been out now for a couple months, and it's going to start reaching the point where like it's minor spoilers are going to be sort of like acceptable to start getting all over the place, and that's basically unavoidable. And so like, I don't think there's any like hard like after a year you're allowed to start spoiling stuff, but like generally speaking, the longer things are out, the more and more serious of spoilers are tolerable, because you want to have conversations about things and about things you enjoy. And if you're always worried about like, oh, we don't want to talk about the ending or this really important plot thing because there's a chance that someone could hear this conversation and they haven't experienced it.
Oh yeah, I don't. Oh, when I said what's the guideline, I didn't mean when should people be allowed to talk about it. I just mean like, at what point do you lose the right to complain if you stumble upon people talking about it?
I mean, if you stumble upon people talking about it, basically, to a certain, it depends how you're. I suppose you mean like in internet when is it?
Yeah, like if people are like, "Damn it, you spoiled it for me! What the hell?" And you're like, "Bruh, it's been out for 10 years. Like, you can't be mad at me. You're not allowed to be mad at me."
Yeah.
Like,
where do we go from here?
I'm just trying to figure out what's the line there.
I would say, especially with video games, it can be hard because like this specifically is like, oh man, I don't get, where do I go? This specifically is a game that takes a solid probably 40 to 60 hours to play through your first time around.
Oh, probably.
Which means that if you're trying to beat it, it will take you the better part of a month if you play it like solidly, and more than that if you play it not solidly. And so like spoilers for Final Fantasies, I feel like maybe 2 to 3 years before you can start talking about them without being like, well, you had 3 years and we gotta do it. I think I might just say when the next Final Fantasy comes out, spoiler season is fair game.
Yeah.
About that. Sorry guys. I think this is where I need to go. So yeah, I can definitely talk about Final Fantasy 13 now that Final Fantasy 15's out, because boy, is there some amazing things that happen there. But I'll have to talk about that next time on Last Play. Where do we go from here?